Hey y'all, it's been a minute since I filmed. I honestly was struggling with a lot of anxiety and feeling really busy, which when I'm physically busy or working with admin, beginning of ending of the month tends to be really hard. So now that I'm kind of in the middle of the month, I start to like be able to take a breather. But I been working a lot, and I guess stress, physical stress too, because working out is also physical stress, good stress, but it's still at the end of the day still stress. So I tweaked like a not tweaked. So I have a place where my body accumulates a lot of tension and it gets really naughty. And so after working out for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe three, it got really tight and then it flared up, which then caused a lot of tension in my neck and I couldn't turn left. Like it felt like I tweaked my neck, but I know that I didn't technically tweak my neck. I just have a lot of tension built up back there that it just went all the way up to my jaw. So obviously I had to take a break from working out because everything was just piling on more tension there. I've been working a lot on my shoulders, and I know that that's part of it. Like there was just so much tension back there from hitting shoulders very consistently that my body, on top of life stress, work stress, my body just was like, well, we can't handle it anymore and you need to take a break and step back. So here I am. This is my third day off from the gym, and honestly it's been really nice because I'm tired. I feel how I'm slowly losing some of that tension. I'm trying to stretch a little bit. I did go to the gym on Tuesday and Wednesday, and that felt really good to like bring blood flow to that area, but at the same time I didn't want to overdo it because it was only going to get more aggravated. Like it got so angry that it just felt like everything was hot and inflamed. But that's a personal update. It is Saturday, and I wanted to kind of show you guys my new favorite pancake recipe as I'm making it. And because it's almost 1 p.m., like I still haven't had breakfast today, like I slept in, and then I went to the chiropractor to like continue to work on healing this, I guess maybe injury, if we can call it that. Um, and so I also bought myself a coffee because I was craving it, but I'm not drinking it until I eat breakfast, so I have to make breakfast. So I already have this in the mixing bowl, but I'm gonna just share how I did it. So I recently decided to really clean up my gluten-free life again and really be strict about it. I feel like I started that at the beginning of July, post-vacation, because on vacation I allow myself to just eat. So I started to clean it up, but then I was like, okay, no more processed foods. And then I was like, or grains. And I was like, shit, I don't want to eat up like sweet potato for every day. And when I create stupid rules like that for myself that are very restrictive, obviously I'm not successful and I know this, and I would tell this to a different person, but when it's me, I have these crazy thoughts and ideas, but I have to like crash and burn sometimes. Anyway, I decided to allow myself some low ingredient processed foods. So I found this, and I love pancakes. So I found the Kodiak Cakes version of the gluten free, and it's actually really good. Of course, I could make my own pancake mix, and I have in the past, but when I'm in a quick pinch and I just want to pour things in a bowl and mix it versus like having to think about it or look up a recipe, like this is just a good option. And apparently has 14 grams of protein, but you have to mix it in with milk and egg, which here's what I do. I don't follow the complete recipe, but I I have a serving of mix, which if you look at the actual label, the recipe calls for a cup of mix, but the serving suggestion is half a cup, 63 grams. So you're making 2 servings of mix when you follow this recipe, but it's just me and I don't want leftovers and I just want to eat it all. So I put 63 grams in my scale, and then 1 cup of milk. I don't have milk, and I wanted to still boost my protein. So I was like, how can I do that? I did a cup, half a cup, because I'm doing half of the serving, half a cup of egg whites. Here's the only thing though, when you cook with egg whites and use like instead of water or instead of milk, it's gonna get a little bit like flat or cardboardy. But it also gets fluffy. So there's good things and not too great things. To offset that flatness from egg whites, I put half of a banana. And here's the thing about Kodiak. I love the ingredients and I love the taste and whatever, but I only make Kodiak cakes with banana or sweet potato because they're too dry otherwise. I feel like they're healthy pancake mix, but they're missing something when you follow the recipe. Like for me, they're too dry. They are fluffy, but dry. And so I don't like that. So I modify it, and I learned that when I put half a banana in whatever mix I'm making, it's so bomb. It's a little bit softer, it's still fluffy. And then lastly, I ran out of cinnamon, but I'm gonna put pumpkin spice. Fall is coming. Not really, it's been so hot here in Lafayette. And I know that a lot of times they're like a sprinkle. I go crazy with the spices because they really do add to the flavor, but also spices are great for digestion and for health purposes. So I put enough that when I mix it, I can see the specks of cinnamon. And so I mash the banana in here. I do banana, mix, egg whites, and then I mix it all. And then I either cook them in coconut oil or ghee. I did tell you guys about my spray bottle, but I'm running low on my coconut oil. Time to fill it. So I'm going to cook them in coconut oil, no particular reason. I'll show you what the end product looks like. But I also want to say that, like, most people need to get in the gym and work on getting fit, and I feel like I struggle with the opposite because I'm very extremist. Like, it's part of my personality. I'm all in or all out. It's hard for me to like find balance and live in the middle, which is something that I have been working and practicing. So it's been hard mentally taking 3 days off because I'm like, oh my god, I'm losing all my gains, but my rational self, that's not true. My emotional self freaks out. So today I'm going to eat this breakfast. Oh, and I'm also turkey bacon. Turkey bacon is one of my favorites, but if you air fry it, you can make it crispy. So it's in there baking or air frying. And so I completely lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm working on finding balance, and so taking the time off has really helped me heal that flare up in my scapula, but it's also allowed me to rest more, which I have been needing. I am approaching my menstrual part of my cycle, and so I know that I'm a little bit more tired. My body gets more sore when I lift, so I needed to allow it to rest more, and I feel like it's asking me for that, but I wasn't listening. So I'm taking my 3rd day off. I'm going then to, after I eat, take Lexi on a walk, and then I want to stretch. Just to kind of help my body loosen up and lose some tension. But you really have to work in assessing where are you in the spectrum of rest and working out. And I feel like I push myself to the point where I don't allow myself to miss training days, and sometimes I do feel like I overtrain because of that reason. And so it's really important for me to start noticing those patterns and pull myself back and make sure that I'm resting and allowing myself to heal to pursue and see the results that I want, which are muscle gain. Right now I'm really focused on increasing my muscle mass to make sure that I can process carbohydrates and my blood sugar improves, because you become more insulin sensitive when you have more muscle, and your muscle can absorb that glucose, and so it's not going into your bloodstream, and therefore I have better periods, less likelihood of diabetes, less energy crashes. Like, I feel like that is my pure focus right now in improving my PCOS and just overall my health. And I need to remember that a huge part of that is also resting and managing stress properly, which I don't do often. I'm really good at going hard and going all in, and sometimes things like this happen because I neglected rest, and now I'm having to force myself to do it. And so I am proud of myself for allowing this rest period and listening to myself, although it did have to, like, a flare up had to happen for me to be like, all right, well, I can't go to the gym because everything I do will affect that area. So I worked out twice this week. I've been sleeping a lot, and on a Saturday it feels weird than not going to the gym, but I'm glad that I decided not to go. After the chiropractic adjustment, I'm like just let your body chill in that for a little bit. So I'll show you guys what my breakfast is looking like once I'm done cooking it. I learned from one of my cousins when I was a preteen that you have to wait for the bubbles to build up for you to flip that pancake so it's perfect. Otherwise, it's not cooking through, and you're gonna have to flip it back and forth a few times. Okay, breakfast has been made, and as I was making breakfast, I was also thinking like, um, working out will, as I mentioned, is a stress in your body, but it also makes you more resilient to stress in your life, which means that it's a stress. That's why it's a good stressor, because if you build consistency around working out, especially lifting weights, and your muscles are strong, you can take more stress in your body. And that will allow you to be more resilient when you are encountered with something that you really have to deal or work with, and it won't break down. But at some point, you also need to give yourself space to rest and reset, and you can't overwhelm yourself, right? And like, honestly, that's like the hardest part about life. It's finding the balance and listening to your body and knowing what you need in that moment. So it's a journey, it never ends. And that was my cooking thoughts. When I normally don't eat breakfast or lunch this late, but I slept in, and then I had my chiropractic appointment, and I don't want to be late, so I don't have time to like eat, but I also don't want to eat out. Anyway, this is my breakfast, and I truly feel like when you make it look pretty, it's gonna make you feel good about it. So I like making my breakfast look nice. I'm gonna eat this. I'm probably only gonna get 2 to 3 meals today, so when that happens, I tend to focus on my protein. So normally I have 35 grams of protein per meal, but because I'm probably only gonna eat 3, then I'm aiming for 40 to 45. So it's a little bit higher, so at the end of the day, it kind of balances out. I tend to aim for 140 grams a day. And then I have my pancakes and my turkey bacon with eggs. Here's the thing. They're super fluffy. You can see the little banana pieces. And they're not flat from the egg white. So that is the secret for making a good protein-packed pancake. And I believe that it's also protein powder free. I'm definitely trying to avoid dairy as much as possible. And so I'm trying to decrease my amount of protein powder until I buy a beef protein that I've been eyeing. But so good, so fluffy, so soft. And as I did say, I treated myself to one of these. I love soy milk, but as I told you guys, I'm trying to also reduce the amount of seed oils that I eat from processed foods. I still need to get my omega-6s, but not from seed oils and processed foods. But I realized after looking up barista milks, they all have seed oils, and that's what gives them the consistency to be able to froth in hot drinks, and then whatever it is, the consistency of milk, because they're technically not milk. So I love soy milk, but the barista blend soy milk has sunflower seed oil. And so I no longer get lattes, because that's 16 ounces of soy milk with seed oils, and I don't want to do that to myself. I also realize that there's so many calories that are unnecessary and we're not counting for. So if you're drinking coffee that's flavored, you have to consider those calories when you make food choices. But I want to make big meals that are nourishing to my body, so I'm not going to drink my calories. So then this is an iced Americano, and then I get a splash of milk. So I'm still technically speaking drinking that seed oil nut milk, but it's in a lesser amount. So I went from 16 ounces to a splash just to give me a slight milky flavor. And I feel like it still tastes great. I'm still getting the treat that I was craving, but I'm compromising on the amount of, for lack of better word, lack of bad things. That's not true, because food is not good or bad. I would say lack of nourishing options in my food choices. So I chose high density, high nutritious foods, and then reduce the amount of the ones that are not that. So here goes to balance, to giving myself space. I hadn't filmed because my creative self, my wanting to share information self, does not thrive when it's under pressure to do that thing. So I need to allow myself to have the space to create and get excited and work on things at the timeline that my self wants to do that in, versus having a schedule of, which is what I was trying to do, posting a video every single week on Wednesday. It was too much. I have a full-time job of training. I have about 32 clients. I have to manage programs. I have to manage my personal life. I want to make sure that I'm consistent with the gym. I'm consistent with my sleep. I'm consistent with eating nutritious foods. And that takes a lot of time and work. And so this is one project, but it's not going to be very scheduled to the point that it's another stressor. I want it to be something that is fun, that I get to share a little bit of my life and my knowledge through this with whoever is watching. So it will still continue to happen. It's just going to happen more of a better, more natural pace, so I can create more balance in my life and give you a picture of my best, not my best self, but my truest self, with the energy and ability to want to do it. Because if it feels forced, it's not going to be great. But I'm so excited to eat, so I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching this video, and enjoy your weekend.